Hello students, so I'm back once again here on the same topic, that is communication. Today we'll be learning about some basic writing skills. You see, writing is a form of communication that allows all to put their feelings and ideas on paper, to organize their knowledge and beliefs into convincing arguments, and to convey meaning through well constructed text. In its most advanced form, written expression can be as vivid as a work of art. Writing skills are an important part of communication. Good writing skills allows you to communicate your message with clarity and ease to a far larger audience than through face-to-face or telephone conversations. For basic writing skills, you should be aware of following things. That is grammar of a language, how to write effectively, what is a sentence, what is a phrase, kinds of sentences, parts of speech, articles, and finally creation of paragraph. So let's see some of the basic things which we are supposed to know in order to express our thoughts in written format. You might be called upon to write a report, plan a strategy at work, write an application or press release within a volunteering role, or you may be communicating your ideas online via blog, and of course as well written CV or resume with no spelling or grammatical mistakes is essential if you want a new job. So all these are only possible if a person is good at writing, and in this the most important thing is the message has to be conveyed perfectly so that the person who gets it gets the exact same idea of the message which you wanted to convey to him or her or to a group. See, the message can be conveyed either to a single person or to a group of person, so we have to be very careful not to do any type of error. See, error means grammatical or spelling mistakes. So to avoid mistakes we have to be familiar with grammar of the language and the correct spellings of the words. To write something, three aspects are there which you're supposed to follow, and that is, the very first one is using correct grammar, the second one is selecting right word, and the last one is forming easy sentences. See, these are basic because our audiences can be of different types, and the main aim is to convey our message perfectly, so we need to follow these. Apart from these basic aspects, there are four essential elements of effective writing, and they are solid structure, crystal clear clarity, consistency, and selection of right medium. Okay, so let's see what is solid structure. See, solid structure means having all its major components. A impressive writing, it should have three structures. The very first one is it should have a introduction. The second is it should have a body of the message, and the last is it should have a conclusion. In all the forms of writing, either it is short or long, a essay or a letter or a report. After this, the next thing which comes up is the clarity. Clarity means it should be very clear about the topic on which the information is conveyed. The format of the message should be compiled in such a way that the message should be perfectly conveyed to the receiver, the one who gets the message. If the message is not clear, the receiver can ignore the message, or the message should be clear. The message should be very clear, it should be crystal clear. After it, the next one which comes is consistency. It means that the message should be focused and it should be presented in a particular order. It should not be mixed up. The speaker should not oppose his own point in the conversation. It may create a conflict, and the sender should not change his viewpoint. Means he should be very clear about the points, and it should go exactly on the same point on which he is discussing. And the last one is selection of right medium. See, various factors are there which a person has to see. One factor is right medium. We have to select the medium depending on the listeners we have, how close or how much far the listener is. The medium should be selected in such a way so that two-way communication becomes possible easily. It should be common for both, like a handwritten document or a typed one or an email or a blog on internet, and many more. Whichever topic will come, all these topics you all have studied in previous classes. Now also you will learn some advanced things in these in your grammar classes. So the next which comes is sentence. We all know that a group of words which makes a complete sense is termed as a sentence. A sentence should have both. It should have a subject and it should have a predicate. For example, Sham writes good poem. In this sentence, Sham is a subject and writes good poem is predicate. So we can say that it is a. So the next which comes is phrase. As you all know, a phrase is basically a group of words which has some meaning but not complete. It just gives a hint of the idea of the message which was communicated. It expresses a concept and is used as a unit within a sentence. When it is used in a sentence, then a meaning comes out. Basically, a phrase do not have subject and verb combination. Say for example, a beautiful home. With this group of words, we are able to understand that we are telling about the home. It is not conveying proper meaning. To get the proper meaning, we have to use it in a sentence. So the same example, if we use in a sentence, it will be if we say Sham built a beautiful home. So now it is conveying a particular meaning. Basically, we have 5 types of phrases based on parts of speech, and they are noun phrase, adjective phrase, adverb phrase, verb phrase, and prepositional phrase. So let's see what is noun phrase. So a phrase which acts as a noun in a sentence is termed as noun phrase. It contains a noun and other words which are related to noun. So for example, a 50 years old man was sitting in the garden. Here in the sentence, a 50-year-old man is acting as a noun and the rest part is supporting the noun. So it is a noun phrase. Next is adjective phrase. See, when one or more words work together to give more information about an adjective. Say for example, I'm very happy with his work. So here happy is an adjective and very is just helping word for adjective happy. So it is an adjective phrase. After this, the next which comes is adverb phrase. In an adverb phrase, one or more word works together to give more information about adverbs. Say for example, they ran really fast. So here fast is an adverb and the word really is providing more information about the adverb fast. After this, the next which comes is verb phrase. So a verb phrase is a group of main verb and helping verb. He has finished his work. In this sentence, finished is the main verb and has is the helping verb. So we can say it as a verb phrase. The last is prepositional phrase. In this, one or more words works together to give information about preposition. Say for example, he is sleeping on the bed. Here, is the preposition and on the bed is prepositional phrase. We know what is sentence. So let's see what are different kinds of sentences. Here we'll be discussing about three different types of sentences. They are a simple sentence, compound sentence, and complex sentence. So let's see the very first one, simple sentence. A simple sentence has a subject, a verb, and it conveys a complete information. Say for example, mom cooked dinner. If we see this sentence, in this sentence subject is mom, verb is cooked, and it has a clear meaning, so we say it as a simple sentence. The next is compound sentence. Compound sentences are the combination of two or more independent clauses joined together by a coordinating conjunction. Let's take two simple sentences. Aditya opened the door. He looked outside. So now we join these two sentences. We'll join these using coordinating conjunction, and so the final sentence will be Aditya opened the door and he looked outside. Now we can see that the sentence has two independent clauses and both the clauses have complete sense with a subject and a verb. The third one is complex sentence. A complex sentence is composed of an independent clause and a dependent clause. Dependent clause do not have a complete meaning. Let's understand it more with an example. When he won the award, everyone cheered. In this, everyone cheered is a independent clause because it has one subject and one verb, and it has a complete meaning. And when he won the award is a dependent clause, even though it has a subject and a verb, but it do not have a complete meaning, so we can say it is a complex sentence. So these all are the three different types of sentences. See, in every sentence we mention a person, a place, or a thing, and when we mention something about that person, place, or thing, the person, place, or thing we mention is the subject. Whatever we say about that person, place, or thing is the predicate. So let's understand this with the help of an example. Fishermen are catching fish. In this sentence, fishermen is the subject and are catching fishes is the predicate, which tells what the fisherman is doing. The predicate may have two parts, a verb and an object. The second noun or pronoun in the sentence is called object. It receives the action of the subject. In the example discussed just now, fishermen are catching fishes. Fisherman is the subject, are catching is the action, and fish is the object. See, the subject is connected with the object through the verb in a sentence. Both the verb and the object complete the information about the subject. Make sure that a noun or a pronoun can be an object. Normally, a subject comes before a predicate, but in some cases, such as proverb, it comes at the end of the subject. So the next one which comes is parts of speech. See, in English language, words can be classified into 8 categories according to their functions, and these are termed as parts of speech. The very first one is noun. As you all know, it is the name of a person, place, or thing. Like If you say we live in Gorakhpur, Gorakhpur, Gorakhpur is a noun here. The second is pronoun. It simply replaces noun. Say for example, I, you, he, she, etc. The third is adjective. It basically describes a noun. For example, good, red, well, some, etc. The fourth is verb. A verb defines a action or state. For example, work, sing, can, must, etc. The fifth one is adverb. It describes a verb or an adjective. For example, quickly, silently, badly, etc. The sixth one is preposition. It links a noun to the other words in a phrase or a sentence, like to, at, after, on, but, yet, etc. The next is seventh one, and that is conjunction. It is used to join clauses or sentences or even words. Examples are and, when, while, whereas, etc. And the last one and eighth one is interjection. It is short exclamation inserted into a sentence. For example, oh, ouch, hi. So these all are parts of a speech which you all have studied before in previous classes. In English language, we have two types of articles: indefinite articles and definite articles. A and an are the indefinite article, and the is definite article. Generally, an is used before words which starts with a vowel, and that is a, e, I, o, u. A and the is used before starting with consonants. Example for article A can be a man, a letter. If we use an, then for an it can be an apple, an egg. And if we see the, we can say the president, the bakery, the thief, and so on. The last one is paragraph. As we all know, paragraph is a group of sentences related to a single topic. The paragraph may contain sentences of various length, and they may be of different types. The paragraph may be a group of simple sentence or a compound sentence. Even it may have complex sentences. These variations in types and length of the sentences keep the interest of the readers. They do not get bored. See, it may happen if the same type of sentences comes again and again, the reader may get bored and he may leave the conversation or the part of the thing which they are reading. So a paragraph has its own advantage. If you know how to write a paragraph perfectly, then you will be able to connect with your readers. You can become a good writer. You may write or create fictional work or even actual work, or even you can document a work, or you may write a very good story. So finally, paragraph will help you to express your ideas to your readers.